Hi, boys and girls. Today is Wednesday, May 6, 2020. I am still working on lesson 10.3. I'm doing the next two pages, pages 575 and 576. So please find those pages in your packet. I'm starting with 575, so you should be looking for this page, chapter 10, lesson 3, page 575. At the top, it says share and show. So I'm going to begin with our learning target. It is, I can measure elapsed time in minutes. I can measure elapsed time in minutes. So that is what we have been learning, and we're going to continue with that today. Remember, elapsed time tells us when the start of an activity begins to the end of that activity. We have to find how much time has elapsed, how much time has gone by. There are strategies that we can use to do that, and we're going to do that again today using either a number line, an analog clock, or subtracting the times as long as they're in the same hour. So we're going to go over all of that again today. So look at number 1. Use the number line to find the elapsed time. All right, you see my answer is there, but I'm going to show you how I got that answer using one of the strategies. The first one they want us to use is the number line. So we started something at 1:15 and we have to end it at 1:40. 1:15 was written for us, and the first jump that I made was 5 minutes, and I got 1:20. Why did I start at 5 minutes? Because I thought it would be easier to start with 5 minutes so that I could get to 1:20 where my minutes have a 0 in it, because then it's easier to count in my head. So now I'm at 1:20, and now I'm going to jump by 10 because I can count that easily, and I will be at 1:30. So 1:20 added to 10 minutes takes me to 1:30. I'm going to do another 10 minutes. 1:30 added to 10 more minutes gives me 1:40. I'm done. So I add the minutes. 10 plus 10 plus 5 gives me 25 minutes, and there is my answer. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit and give you a minute to write all of that down. We used the strategy of a number line. We made our jumps. We counted our jumps, our minutes, and we found 25 minutes had elapsed from 1:15 to 1:40. All right, now I'm going to number 2. Again, as always, pause the video if you need to, if you think I'm going too fast. Start something at 11:35 a.m., end at 11:54 a.m. Let's pretend maybe we're at lunch. We go to lunch at 11:35 and lunch ends at 11:54. Again, they want us to use the strategy of a number line, so we're going to write 11:35 a.m. first. Again, Miss Harling made her first jump and I added 5 minutes. So 11:35 added to 5 more minutes takes me to 11:40. Then I'm going to make my second jump 10 minutes. 11:40 added 10 more minutes onto that gives me 11:50. Now remember, I can't go past 11:54. That's the end time. So instead of 5 or 10 minute jumps, I'm going to make a 4-minute jump. And when I add 11:50 to 4 minutes, I'm now at 11:54. Now I count those jumps. 5 minutes plus 10 minutes plus 4 minutes, 19 minutes is the elapsed time for that activity. Going to lunch, for example, going at 11:35, ending at 11:54. Now look at number 3. We start something at 4:20 and we end it at 5 o'clock. Notice that this clock is showing the time of 4:20. The shorthand is right after the 4 a little bit, and the longhand is giving the minutes of 20 minutes. I have to start here because this is the start time. So I'm going to start at 4:20 and skip count by 5s until I get up to the 12, because that will start the new hour of 5 o'clock. So I'm going to zoom in on that one so you can see what I did. So I skip counted 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. How many minutes went by? 40 minutes. So the elapsed time for this activity would be 40 minutes. And I'll just keep it there for a second so you guys can copy. Sorry, we're on number 3. Your answer should be 40 minutes. All right. Now, moving on, we're going to do on your own. Now, if you want to pause the video right now and try these on your own, you can. You can try 4, 5, 6, and 7. Or if you just want to do it with me, you can, because I'm going to keep going. It says use appropriate tools and find elapsed time. This time they're giving us an analog clock, but I also showed you how you could use subtraction because that is one of the strategies we talked about yesterday. So you start something at 8:35 p.m. and you end at 8:55 p.m. Again, Miss Harling used skip counting on the clock to find how much time had gone by. So here is the start time, 8:35. So I start here counting until I get to 8:55. I know 55 minutes ends at the 11. So that's where I'm going to stop. 5, 10, 15, 20. So 20 minutes went by for this activity. Or you could have taken the 2 times and subtracted. The end time goes on top, 8:55. The start time goes underneath, 8:35, and now we subtract. 5 minus 5 is 0, 5 minus 3 is 2. You still get 20 minutes. This one works, again, only if the hours are the same. Subtraction won't work if you're moving into another hour because it gets a little tricky. All right, number 5. You start something at 10:10, you end at 10:41. Again, they use the analog clock to show you, and I also use subtraction, so I'll zoom in again so you can see it. I just have to bend this a little bit. All right, so here, my friends, I'm going to skip count starting at 10:10. Why? Because that's when the activity began. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and I have to do one more minute, 31. Now, why did I stop at the 8? Because I know when I'm skip counting by 5s around a normal clock, 8 represents 40 minutes. So I have to stop there and add one more minute. But again, I started at 10:10 because that's when the activity started. 31 minutes have gone by. Or you could have just subtracted. Started the end time first on top, put the start time underneath and subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. It still gives you 31 minutes. So that is your answer for number 5. You can take a few seconds and pause the video or look at it now for a few seconds and write down your work. Okay, moving on to number 6. You start at 9:25, you end at 9:43. They want us to use the strategy of a number line. Again, 9:25 gets written first. That's the start of the activity. I jumped 5 minutes. 9:25 plus 5 minutes is 9:30. Then I decided to jump 10 minutes. 9:30 added to 10 more minutes takes me to 9:40. Remember, I'm getting close to 9:43, so I can't do 5 or 10 minute jumps anymore. I'm going to do 3 minutes because I'm almost there. So 9:40 plus 3 minutes is 9:43. Now I add those minutes. 3 plus 10 plus 5 gives me 18 minutes. Number 7. You start something at 2:15 and you end at 2:52. Again, they want us to use a number line. 2:15 gets written first. The first jump I made was 5 minutes. Now I'm at 2:20. 2:15 plus 5 minutes is 2:20. Now I'm going to jump 10 minutes. 2:20 plus 10 more minutes is 2:30. Look what I did next. Trying to get to 2:52. So I'm at 2:30. I'm going to add 20 minutes this time. 2:30 plus 20 is 2:50. I'm very close, so I'm only going to add 2 more minutes. 2:50 plus 2 more minutes takes me to 252. I am done. I add those together, 20 plus 10 plus 5 plus 2. That is 37 minutes. Please copy. Okay, now I'm going to the second page, which is 576. So please find page 576. This is the problem solving page. Again, I did a lot of it for you. There's one problem on here two we're not going to do. So I'm just going to go over 8, 9, and 10, and then we're going to stop for today. So it says John started reading his book about outer space at 9:15 in the morning. He read until 9:45 in the morning. How long did John read his book? Now, I gave you the answer, 30 minutes. But over here on the right-hand side is where you can write and show your work. So, 9:15. We talked about the word quarter when I showed you the poster. That is a 15-minute interval. So your answer should be 9:15 is when he started reading, and he finished at 9:45, which means it's not 10 o'clock, it's 9:45. Again, I did underline that information so that you can read it carefully and know what time is there. So 9:15 is 9:15, 9:45 is 9:45. So I took those two times, and instead of doing a number line, I just subtracted real quick. So I put the end time on top, 9:45 minus 9:15, which was the start time, and I subtracted. 5 minus 5 is 0. 4 minus 1 is 3. So make sure you have 30 minutes as your answer for number 8. Now, I didn't give you the answer for number 9, but I did show the work. So let me read it to you first, and then I'll show you what I did. It says mathematical practice. Use reasoning. So they really want you to think. What makes sense? Tim and Alicia arrived at the rocket display at 3:40 p.m. Alicia left the display at 3:56 p.m. Tim left at 3:49 p.m. If the answer is Alicia, what is the question? Well, I made two number lines to show you. It's pretty evident that Alicia left later than Tim because she left at 3:56 and Tim left at 3:49. So I'm going to show you what the question should be that we need to write under number 9. We know that Alicia left a little bit later than him because 3:56 is a longer time at the rocket display than 3:49. But let me show you what I did. So over here, I made two number lines to represent Alicia and to represent Tim. My first number line is Alicia. It says she started she looked at the rocket display starting at 3:40 and then she stopped at 3:56. So how much time was that? 3:40 added 10 minutes, that's 3:50, and then I added 6 minutes. There's your 3:56 for her ending time. 10 plus 6 is 16 minutes she was there. Now if you look at Tim, he also went at 3:40, but he left at 3:49. So I showed you how many minutes that was on the number line. So you've got 3:40, I added 5 minutes to that, that's 3:45. Then I added 4 minutes to that, and that took me to 3:49 because that's the time he left. He was only there for 9 minutes. So we know Alicia was there longer. So what question would you write there to represent how we found the answer? Well, if you're not sure, I'm going to give it to you. Please write for number 9. Who spent, because remember, we're asking a question. We're making up the question. More time at the rocket display? Question mark. We know it was Alicia because 3:56 means she was there longer than he was because he was only there till 3:49. We also know that because 16 minutes is a longer time than 9, but we had to make up the question. So please copy. Who spent more time at the rocket display? We already know the answer. It's Alicia. All right, pause the video if you need to, but I'm moving on to number 10. It says, at the Kennedy Space Center, Karen bought a model of a shuttle. She started working on this model the next day at 11:13 a.m., and she worked until leaving for lunch at 11:51 a.m. After lunch, she worked on the model again from 1:29 p.m. to 1:48 p.m. How long did Karen work on the model? Now, I gave you a lot of example here to show you what Karen did. So, here at the bottom is what Karen did, my friends. I made a number line for the first time she started working on her model. She started at 11:13 and she ended at 11:51, and I made the jumps on the number line. 20 minutes takes me to 11:33. 10 minutes takes me to 11:43. 5 more minutes takes me to 11:48, and 3 more minutes adds up to 11:51 because that's the time she stopped. So that was 38 minutes the first time she was working on her display. Then in the afternoon, she went back to it. She started again at 1:29. So I added 1 minute to make it 1:30. Then I jumped 10 minutes to make it 1:40. Then I jumped 5 minutes to make it 1:45. And then I jumped 3 minutes to make it 1:48. I added those times together. The second time, she worked on it for 19 minutes. So if I go back and answer the question, how long did Karen work on the model? I've got all my information here. And now the first time was 38 minutes. The second time was 19 minutes. I added those together. She worked on it for a total of 57 minutes. So how long did Karen work on the model? 57 minutes. Now I'm going to move back over here in a minute to show you the number lines again. And if you need to pause the video to write your work down, you may do that. So here are the number lines for everything I did. This is for the problem 9 for Alicia and Tim. I made their number lines to see how long they were at the rocket display. These two number lines represent Karen when she was working on the model shuttle that she was trying to put together. This is how long she stayed on it for the first time. This is how long she worked on it the second time. And then I added those together to get the 57 minutes. So you can pause the video, have someone at home help you make these number lines, because these are strategies, obviously, that we have been learning to help us find elapsed time. Okay, while you're doing that, I just want to mention real quick, this is what I did for today. I'm also going to go over that homework, but I'm going to do that in a different video because this video is already 18 minutes long, so I don't want to go any further with that. I hope that you were able to get this information down. I know you guys have heard the information about, obviously, we're not going back to school. As far as the packets go, you are not to bring them to school. The information that I have received is that the packets will be picked up just like they were dropped off. So just hold on to these packets. Do not throw them out. Do not try to go up to the school to hand them in. They will be picked up. If any new information comes about, Mr. Hahn will send out a robocall to let you know what's going on. But right now, as far as I understand, the packets will be picked up. So I'm going to keep working on them. I know we're not going back to school, but I want to help you because we've been out of school for 2 months now. So I'm going to keep working on these packets until probably into June, just as if we were in school. So I want to keep working with you, and I hope that you continue to work with me, okay? I hope you have a great Wednesday, and I will be putting up the next video to go over that homework assignment that I gave you on Monday. All right, guys, bye.